Alright, so this is the Raider. If you've seen the Stryker video, I obviously did a 240 wide tire, and as you can tell, it's happening again. Very similar, straightforward steps on removing it. You just have to get the axle out to get the wheel off, and obviously take the brake off. So on the brake, there is 2 bolts. Just take the caliper off. You can slide the pads out, which I got up there. Once that's off, that'll fall off. Undo the axle bolt depending on your exhaust. So this is an aftermarket Cobra exhaust. I had to loosen it off, at least on the loosen all the bolts. I took all the back ones right off so I can move it more. So you can pull it out of the way. Get the axle nut off. That is right here. Once that comes all the way off, you can wiggle the tire a little bit, and this side, the adjustment, this guy will come right off, and then you can hit the axle through, screwdriver, whatever, and then pull the axle all the way out. The other side comes off. You might have to loosen this one a little bit, the adjustment, to get it out. Once the tire or the axle comes all the way off, the tire will come down. You can roll it then forward a little bit and get the belt off. That's an easy way of doing it. And the bracket for the calipers will also fall off. So tire's getting mounted right now. I will show you guys putting it back on and what it looks like on the Raider compared to the Stryker. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm also going to do the signals while I'm here. Alright guys, she's a little windy out, but got the whole fucking meat back here. She's ready to go on the Raider. See if I get a tag here. Michelin Commander 2, 240/40 R18. Same thing I just put on the Stryker. So need to get it on this bad boy here. And we'll see how she fits. So first thing you want to do is just kind of slide it in. You gotta pull the actual tire up itself or tilt it to the left. Just slip the belt on, easy enough. The Stryker didn't do that. I actually got the wheel on first, but this should be alright to do. And you want to go ahead and get your axle and start sliding it through. Don't forget this bracket has to go up in between the swing arm and the brake. This bike does not have the spacer that went on the hub or on there like the Stryker did, that went in between. So pretty straightforward to line that up on this side, but I will get this on first, and then let's just real quick, don't put the belt on first. I had the belt on the outside of the swing arm to keep it out of the way. You can take this upper cover off, it helps the belt move freer, or the lower one too if you want. You gotta line this bracket up at the same time, like this brake caliper bracket. It has to line up at the same time you put everything on. So kind of just held it in the general area. As long as these sides are around the rotor there. And just kind of keep it on your legs and push it up until it slides in. Make sure you keep the little, the axle pieces on here, like these washer things, whatever you want to call them. And then once the wheel's on, it slides forward, the belt goes on, no problem. Plenty of tension to come on and off, so easy enough. And then you can put your axle back in. Make sure you lube it up, and then put it back in the hole. Just gotta line that up too, but yeah. Okay, I just got the axle through there. Takes a little bit lining up. Make sure the flat side is facing with that piece. Make sure that's on the axle when you're putting it on. On the other side here, you just need to put the other one on, which is right here. So this guy, make sure the marks go down, and it'll just slide on. You might have to adjust the bolts or pull the wheel back so it lines up. So I'll just pull the wheel back on it, and the axle should come back and give it enough room, maybe. Okay, I don't have enough room, so just need to back off the adjusting nut here. And then once this is loose, just go ahead and loosen it, thread the bolt back in. If you're smart, when you're taking it off, you will mark which marking needs to be in line with the notch on the frame, around the swing arm. But once that's on, you can go ahead. There's a big washer and the nut. Just go slide the washer over that, and then to one sided nut, like it's got locking threads. Just go ahead and slide that on. Just hand thread it for now, it's fine. And then when you're at this point, you can put the brake back on too and make your final adjustment. So I put these brake pads back on. Don't forget to check them in your rotor if they're worth replacing. Mine still have a decent amount of life. They don't look greatly worn, but they'll do. So just make sure, put one on the back side and one on the front side, obviously. The way these designed are actually really nice. There's a little ridge on the bottom and on the top, right there. So you just gotta line up the pad pieces and push them in. Make sure the actual brake pad material is to the rotor, not the metal, because that would not be good. But as you can see, these have the little channels there, top and bottom. And this just goes on the outside, like so. And on the top, just push it in nicely, and now the caliper will slide over top. I guess I gotta take these bolts out first. The guide pin bolts, whatever you want to call them, caliper mounting bolt things. Try not to get them dirty. They do have grease on them. I lost my paper towel, so I'll try not to knock them over. So like that, take the caliper. It should just tuck underneath the rotor and slide up onto the pads like that. And then just go ahead and put your bolt back in, like so. And the bottom one. And I will just do this real quick to get them snug, and then I will get a torque spec. Actually, yeah, I'll go do that right now. I'll go get a torque spec, I'll be right back. Okay, so just got the two caliper bracket bolts, or mounting bolts, whatever you want to call them. Just got those torqued. It says like 19 foot-pounds, I think it was, or 20 foot-pounds. So I did 20 foot-pounds. And then now we gotta adjust the tire here. So I am going to get my belt gauge. I got one of these guys off Amazon. It works good enough. It's got a 10 foot-pound pressure thing and a belt thing. And then you're gonna want a 12 mil wrench to adjust the side brackets. I'm gonna get a smaller 12 just so it's easier. Yes, 12, okay. And for the most part, you can tighten the tension until the belt actually is quite snug, because it's going to be a lot more than you think. So I'm just going to start tightening these guys and be right back. Okay, so just got the belt adjusted. It's adjusted to the third small tick out on the back side of the engraved tick on the swing arm. So it's kind of hard to see, but general gist, it's that on both sides. Makes it straight. At least it better be straight, but clearance is good. There's room between the, it's not going to focus, but between the lower belt guard and the tire. Swing arm clears easy, brakes fine. But if you listen, spin this, there's no rubbing, so we're all good. There you look. It is close, but is not touching. And I'm going to make note on the Stryker. The Stryker one, we actually had to cut out the section where the tire was like on the ridge, because this ridge actually rubbed on the Stryker's 240 on the plastic cover. So I'm sure you could put like a little spacer under the outside cover bolt to space it off, but we actually trimmed it because it was rubbing quite bad. So get a torque wrench, the tire's in place, slide the exhaust away a little bit. If I can, do this one hand. Get that on there, and 110 foot-pounds. And you only have to do the one side because the other side's held on its own, which is nice. So just go till she clicks. If she'll click. Come on, there we go. Triple check it. And and she's torqued. She's on there, and she's nice and wide. So once you get that done, depending on your exhaust, if you got the stock exhaust, just put the rear muffler back on. Otherwise, you're gonna want to bolt your aftermarket exhaust back on, so I'm gonna put that on. I actually picked up some rubber plumbing washers. I'm gonna try to stop the vibrations on my bike because I think the exhaust is vibrating on the frame because it's hard mounted, not using the normal rubber insulators that the stock exhaust uses. So just gotta put that back on, tighten up the front one, put the shield back on, and the mounts, and should be good. And then I'll get back to you. Okay, just got the exhaust finished tightened back up. Got the bracket put on, got my rubber washers, so I cut them in half, so half goes on the outside and half goes, if I can show it here, between the bracket and the frame. That'll hopefully help with some vibration, because I believe that's where it's coming from on the highway. But yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. Otherwise, everything's on, brake's good, pump it up a little bit, I guess. Feels a little spongy. Otherwise, just good to go. Just get it off the jacks here and take it for a rip.